activity or food or junk food like I am, you know. And we always trade off one addiction for another. So we're drawn to addiction naturally, provincially, right?
Dylan, have you ever been in love?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That was a real hard one for me because I have had lots of offspring. I've lost children. I should have 7 kids, but I only have 2 daughters. One of them, the mother went and found some dude, one of my worst enemies in Kelowna, who was supposedly my friend for 4 years, used to rip me off for an ounce of pot. That's kind of hardcore, but that's what the guy did. And she found him, and he signed paperwork for her adoption papers so that she'll never know that I'm her father. And that hurts. But my firstborn daughter was put up for adoption, and that one hurt because, you know, I was up in Regina working, becoming the person I'm supposed to be, right? And my mom and my aunt got a hold of me with a picture of my daughter, and it was a spitting image of me as a child. And they said, come to Kelowna, we'll help you fight for your daughter and everything, and you can raise her. And, you know, there's nothing more that I want than to help raise my kids. And I dread meeting her and having her ask that question, Dad, did you ever love me? How come you gave me up? And yes, I love her. And I hope I never meet her right now like this, because I don't want her to know this person that I am, because it's not really who I am. It's who I became because of all the torture and hurt that happened to me in my life. I mean, my firstborn son and daughter that were to be born, I loved their mother. I was going to marry her, but she was 8 months pregnant when she lost them, due to a guy named Kieran Segarty. He was the driver that drove like a wild man all the time, and she was missing her friends. I kept her safe and at home kind of thing for 8 months, and I couldn't keep her cooped up any longer. She needed to see her friends and whatnot. She needed to get out, and she was 8 months pregnant. So there were people inside her. There were human beings inside her. As in the eyes of the law, they were beings. They were humans. And Kieran Segarty, I told them, drive like a human being for once. These are my children, and they're my life. And he drove like a wild man, hit a snowbank, and he hit it so hard that he twisted the frame and wrote the truck off. My mother woke me up 4 a.m. that night and said, yeah, I need to get some clothes for Tanya. She's miscarrying. And while I was grabbing some clothes out of the closet, I looked over what my mother was doing, and I watched her pulling my son out of the toilet by his foot. And we had to take her up to the hospital to have my daughter broken down into pieces small enough to be removed.
That's horrible, man.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
And, yeah. I found out 4 years ago on my birthday that when she went back to Aldergrove, she was tubular pregnant with my second son. And if anybody knows about tubular pregnancies, that there's a 0 chance for survival for either one. So she had to terminate. So there's another child gone. And when I went to Kelowna to fight for my daughter, Child Services and Welfare was fighting me tooth and nail, and they said they would never give me an opportunity to have my daughter. And I don't understand why.
Hey, Dylan, if there's something you could tell your daughter right now, tell the fucking world. Maybe she'll see this. What do you want to tell her?
Well, I do love you. I never wanted to give you up. But there was no way that I would ever be able to have you. So I didn't want you to be bounced around the system like my brother was, and I found out that you were in a good Catholic home, and they loved you, and that's why I let them have you as their daughter. I signed the adoption paper with a lot of heavy-heartedness because I wanted you. I want to be a father. I want to have all those things, the first cry, the first dirty diaper, all that shit that people neglect. They find, miserable. I love you, and I had a job where I was the live-in caregiver for 2 sons. The father was a mechanic for an airliner, and the mother was a stripper. So they were never home, and I was there for 2.5 years. And I had to quit because they started calling me dad, and it tore my heart out.
What's her name, man?
I actually don't know her full name. It's just that, according to the paperwork, it was baby Elaine Robinson.
Okay.
And they got Elaine wrong. It was actually, you were supposed to be named after my grandmother, Eileen, not Elaine. But they kind of got it wrong. And, but I love you. And it was the hardest thing I ever had to do.
Thanks, man. Yeah. What do you wish for the future, Dylan?
I still hope that there's children in my life, but I am 46, turning 47. It doesn't look like it's going to be a thing for me as much as I wish I could. I do have children. You have a sister out there, but she'll never know that I'm her father, and you'll never get to know her, and she'll never get to know you, unfortunately. But yeah, I've saved a lot of lives from an overdose in the last 4 months, and I'm not Superman. I'm just another addict that cares. But if this society cared a little bit more about us as human beings instead of the stigmatism of an addiction, or but don't get me wrong, there are some people that are really bad out there that are that'll hurt people and rob them and steal and whatever else. I don't do that. I don't go pick butts. I'll go fix things. I'll go pick cans. I'll do whatever I have to make money to get my next fix or whatever, without hurting others.
That's how you sustain yourself?
Yeah, well, right now I help other people acquire their substances, and I get something for it in the process. They call it middling or whatever. That's mainly how I acquire my substances right now, other than when I purchase on-income assistance, and I can maintain mine for a while, where most of these people, they just go crazy with it. And I try and pace myself.
Do you boost?
No, I don't steal.
No.
Never have I stolen. I used to when I was a child, and I got in trouble for it, and I've tried a couple times here and there, but I've never got away with it.
Have you ever done time?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you want to talk about that?
I was selling drugs.
Okay.
I was a drug dealer. I was selling cocaine, 98% cocaine. That wasn't the first time. I did provincial time before that, but that was my first federal time. And
how was that experience?
It was actually quite a harsh experience because I was medium security. So, where people say, oh, they're badasses because they did maximum security, it's actually a joke because that's not where you're at risk. The higher risk is medium security because you actually interact with those murderers, those killers, those rapists and stuff. And maximum security, you're usually 38-1, which means you're locked down 23 out of 24 hours of the day. So you're not really accessing or interacting with those people, right? So
it's safer.
Yeah, you're more safer in maximum than you are in medium.
Okay.
In actuality, right? And I'm not proud what I did. I ended up in jail here because I was selling pot. And Buddy tried robbing me for 20 bags of pot, and I was the victim. He tried killing me, and he was killing me. This is going to be a little harsh for some people to understand, but my eyes were rolling back in my head, and I shouldn't piss myself. And that's usually what happens when you're about to die from strangulation, right? I popped my pocket knife out, and I did what I had to do to get him to let go of me. Apparently, I had nicked him and cut his face from here to here, and it flayed up. And in court, it was kind of funny because I still remember this, and I'll remember it till the day I die. Now that he's overdosed and dead and gone, it's my girlfriend, Christy. It's just my girlfriend trying to find me. We're in different residences, and we don't get to see each other that often. So it's.
So you were just talking about your time in medium security.
Yeah,
how long were you in there for?
I was in for the federal. I was in for 3.5 years. It was because I had gotten charged a couple times.
In there?
Possession. Well, no, not in there. I never got charged in there. I got charged in provincial. They call it kangaroo court. I got charged for. I did unlawfully at large. I escaped because the first time I ever did time, I was ratted out by my brother, the one that told my mother to hurry up and die already, as well as I was sent to one of the institutions he was sent to, and we could pass for twins. But he nailed the footlockers shut on his last day there and put their bunks on the pins, so when they jump on him, they fall apart. So they all thought I was him, so they wanted to kill him. So they wanted to kill me. So my life was being threatened. I told the guards, and they wanted me to rat, and I'm solid, a person. I didn't rat. I told them, either you get me out of here because my life's at risk, or I'm walking. And they said, well, you gotta give us some names. And I said, fuck you, I'm not a rat. So I walked. The only person, as far as I know, that escaped from Bear Creek and make it to Clearwater, BC, and turned myself in at the RCMP shop. I wasn't trying to run from jail. I was just trying to run from being murdered because of my brother's stupidity. But I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still fighting for my life and survival. But
Do you have any family members that you stay in touch with?
My half-brother Vance. I talk with him regularly. My cousin Lynn. That's actually who I'm living with, is her boyfriend. It's not the greatest situation, but it is a place. But because I have no window in my room and I have my own personal issues, like I am a bit of a hoarder because I never really had much being from a big family. Most of the stuff I have had given to me has been owned by about 8 different people before me. So anything I can get that's first time or second time around, that I have a use for, or somebody could have a use for, I grab it, right? And that's another problem that I have to deal with, and I'm working on that. But because there's no window in my room, because I was locked in the closet by my father, soundproof room and all that, I have trouble. I have night terrors, and so I find it freer to be out on the street than it is there. So it feels like that's more of a glorified storage unit than it is a home, because I can't really use any of the facilities except for the bathroom for what I would normally, like if I had a home of my own, I can cook when I want to. I can have a bath or a shower when I want to or need to. But here it's a little more difficult because I have to share all this, and there's a lot more people living there, and I can do my laundry when I need to. But here I can't really use this kitchen. I can't cook. I have to get food that's pre-prepared, and I can't even microwave food. I can't do that. I can't do laundry.
The little things become a lot harder, right?
I'm almost considered a chef, right? I love cooking. I'm wonderful at it. I did culinary arts a couple times. I took it in Kelowna, and it was the one there is the third highest recognized in all North America. and I was the only first-year student to actually have a sandwich on the menu that in the history of this place. They reserved that for second-year students. But I had an open-faced turkey and gravy sandwich that was on the menu, lunch menu, for 3 days in a row. And I was a first-year student. They only let second-year students do that, but I was the only one so far first year that got to. So, that's a good thing. I also went to Japan for a couple of years on an exchange program that I paid through walking the golf ball gullies and swimming the ponds at night. I earned all the money myself. I was the poorest kid in the exchange program. And there was 20 students from Vernon and 20 students from Invermere, DTSS. David Thompson Secondary School, if anybody doesn't know, right? But yeah, I was the first one chosen in the program, and I was the youngest, and I had the most cultural bias for the program. And yeah, I was chosen first.
Dylan, I've just got a couple last questions for you, man. First of all, if you had 3 wishes, what would they be? Anything.
To have my kids. To marry the one that I'm with. And to be able to become the inventor that I am and actually do what I want with the money. I want to live comfortably, but I don't want to be rich. I want to give back to the homeless. I want to get some housing where people can get the help they need. Or if they don't want to, they don't have to. As long as, they have a roof over their head and somewhere to keep themselves secure and safe. So they're not getting robbed like me when I'm out here every night, or raped or molested or killed, all this stuff is going on here, and it's sickening and it's sad. If more people cared for their fellow man like I do, and I'm homeless. Well, I'm not homeless, I don't really have a home. I have a heart, and I care for others like I want them to care for me. I've saved these people not because, I care about them. Half of them I don't even really know or like. I just don't want to see people dying. And if I can prevent it, I'm going to.
With this video, we're bringing awareness, man. We're helping the cause.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm not Superman, but I fly for everybody if I can. But my girlfriend is the one I love the most, and if I could ever get my inventions made, I would want her to be there, because I can't enjoy anything if I don't have someone to enjoy it with.
One final question. What would you say to someone who's just starting down this path?
Be careful. It's very slippery slope, and it's a harsh razor's edge. And know before you inhale what you're inhaling or doing exactly what it is, because it could be your life gone like that. Be careful, people.
Thanks a lot for sharing your story and your time, Dylan.
No problem. You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure to meet you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
You stay safe out here, okay?
Everybody says that to me, but I tell them, nope, I can't stay safe, because when I'm safe, I'm relaxed. And you can't be relaxed and safe at the same time.
Stay on your feet then.
That's right. Stay on edge, because you know what? If you're on edge, at least you're alive. Have a great one, people.
Thanks, my friend.
Yeah, you're welcome.